Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Mary Lau joins us. She's the president and CEO of the Retail Association of Nevada. For the whole show on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Truck drivers are some of the hardest working people you'll meet, delivering over 70% of America's freight and 92% of Nevada's. When there's a natural disaster, they're delivering critical supplies to help those communities recover and rebuild. Every sector of the economy and our nation's military rely on truck drivers. So let's take a moment to say thank you. On the open road or city streets, our truck drivers are rolling to make our economy and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always pleased to welcome back to the program one of our proud sponsors, Mary Lau, president and CEO of the Retail Association of Nevada.
Good morning, Sam.
Pleasure to have you back on the program. So I want to start out with kind of a goofy story that I heard on Marketplace, the business program on public radio, where they were talking about retail, and they were saying that versus other countries, the United States has way more retail than other countries do per the population, and that we need to thin the herd. Is that something you would agree with?
Well, I don't know about thinning the herd. I think the consumer thins the herd naturally. But yeah, we are a consumer economy. So basically, there's a lot of retail out there besides our majors, a lot of mom and pop and stuff like that. But it's kind of like the baseball field, build it and they will come. You know, retail does not drive economics. Economics drives retail. And if there's a large population or a need for a product or service, then retail will answer that and you'll find it building. That's why you see people like EDON and NDA and stuff. They don't go out and solicit retail because retail will come.
And we're seeing a resurgence in new forms of malls where they're putting in all kinds of artwork and creations. Malls are not disappearing, they're actually regenerating now.
Yeah, they're regenerating and they're reinventing themselves the same way retail is. Again, the consumer-driven economy idea. But the malls and stuff they're becoming fascinating places to go to again. For a while, they were places where you'd meet, or the teenagers would go for, you know, meeting up and I don't know, skateboarding down the middle of the mall or something. But all that is changing too. It's an experiential thing. And shopping can be an experience. You know, that's the one thing you miss online shopping. And everybody talks about the massive amount of online, which there is, but it's not supplanting. Even Amazon now is going brick and mortar.
And, you know, it's interesting that millennials are using malls as a social experience that they don't get elsewhere. So they are coming to malls now because they are with other people.
Yeah, well, we're tribes. You know, we are tribal oriented regardless of what we'd like to say. And the human being needs human interaction. It can bring out some pretty garbage stuff sometimes, but it actually brings out the best of us. Because the more you meet with people, the more integrate you with people and stuff, the more open you become, and then basically you're dealing with people in love. I bet you didn't expect to hear that in a retail show.
I did not. But you know what's interesting? I just met with a potential client who teaches courses on things like how to answer the phone, how to talk to people in a public situation, how to look somebody in the eye. when did this, I thought it was bad enough that people had to rely on cash registers to be able to make change. Now we can't even talk to each other?
Well, communication skills, obviously, have been disintegrating. For example, have been disintegrating because people aren't talking to people. I mean, when you're sitting at a table and you're texting somebody, that is not communication. It's quick and efficient contact, I guess I could word it that way. But communication is something else, and so many people really don't know how to communicate, because they will be formulating an answer while you're giving them your hypothesis or opinion or whatever, and they're not listening to you. They're trying to figure out where they want to be when you shut up.
And you know what? That is the total secret of sales, which is listening to the other person.
That's true, but it's also the total secret of communication, because if you can't hear, you can't join the conversation. You're just doing a monologue and somebody else is blapping back at you in their monologue.
Do you think that people realize that, how big of a driver for the economy retail is?
I think it's taken for granted in many respects, but it's kind of like going in the state of Nevada. Retail is the largest producer of taxation in Nevada because of the sales tax. But retail is also services as well as goods, and there's a section of our economy that we don't even reach. We could actually charge less in sales tax if we did that, because retail affects everything. So, you can choose what kind of a dress to buy. You can buy from Prada, or you can go to Walmart and shop. You get those options, but you still need a dress.
Let's talk about the stadium in Las Vegas, the Raiders Stadium. What kind of retail opportunities are opening up there because of the stadium?
I'm not really sure what they're going to have there. Quite often it's we'd love to call them tchotchkes, where you can get, or they call it, what do they call it now? Swag? Mm-hmm. Yeah, where you can get the t-shirts, you can get the hats, you can get the memorabilia and stuff like that. Probably all kinds of jackets. There would be availability for, anything that market would drive. So I think it would pretty much mirror other kinds. Of course, you have your food retailers and stuff like that. But because it's also a tourism draw and stuff, there would be Nevada-centric things, too, that were available.
And around the stadium itself, because obviously literally thousands of people are going to be walking to that stadium. Doesn't that open up retail opportunities along the way?
Yeah, it's called water, because you're standing in line to get in the middle of summer. But yeah, there's always opportunity. And again, that goes to the beginning of our conversation. Retail doesn't drive growth. But if there is a need and stuff, but if you go to Candlestick Park when it existed and stuff like that, there's a limited amount of retail in those areas because your parking is so huge. I guess, you could have, availability for what you forgot on your tailgate party stuff, but they are focused on getting into the stadium, and afterwards they're focused on getting out of the traffic. So I haven't seen, in my experience, like Soldier Field and stuff when I've been there, where there's, I want to go over there and shop before I go and stand in line to get into the game. I want my tickets, I want my hot dog, and I want 4 or 5 beers. So,
well, we know the priorities.
There you go.
By the way, talking about things driving, retail, as you remember, I had an office downtown Reno that was by the Federal Building. And when they had the immigration marches, the people were protesting that we should have legal immigration. There were Hispanic folks who were setting up stands out of orange crates and putting water on and selling water to the people who were marching. I mean, retail will find a way.
Entrepreneurs are retailers too. I was in Greece and it started raining. Our umbrellas were in the hotel, and here's a guy on his bike with a cardboard box selling umbrellas. They go, silly tourists, I see a need.
Indeed. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We got some politics to talk about right after this.
Tamarack Junction is South Reno's hotspot with over 450 of the latest slots and video games. Sully's Sports Bar, the Dining Car Restaurant, William Hill Sportsbook, and the Tamarack Steakhouse and Lounge. We're just north of the Summit Mall in South Virginia.
Yeah.
Because of UMC, there's a wide open road ahead of me.
Because of UMC, she can grow up with her twin sister.
Because of UMC, I'm here to help you.
UMC, the highest level of care in Nevada.
Hi, I'm Eric Robnett, owner of Home Energy Experts. Has this ever happened to you?
Honey, did you remember to turn down the thermostat?
Forgetting to set the temperature? Not fun. We can help. Our new smart thermostat keeps the temperature set for your comfort all by itself.
I'm feeling hot now.
To increase your comfort, go to homeenergyexperts.com for details. That's homeenergyexperts.com.
The signs and symptoms of cataracts can start out small with subtle changes in your vision. So don't wait. Be proactive and take your vision into your own hands. If you're experiencing the onset of cataracts or just have questions, contact your eye care professional or call Eye Care Associates of Nevada today. Dr. Hiss has years of experience specializing in the surgical correction of eye disorders and has completed over 84,000 vision correcting procedures. At Eye Care Associates of Nevada, we'll change the way you look at the world.
The Tamarack Junction Steakhouse is known for signature steaks, handcrafted cocktails, and world-class wines. Join us Thursdays and Friday nights from 4:30 to 6:30 in the Steakhouse Lounge for live music, gourmet plates, and well-priced wines, just north of the Summit Mall on South Virginia.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Mary Lau. She's the president and CEO of the Retail Association of Nevada. Okay, so the Clark County Education Authority now drops out, or association, I should say, not authority, drops the couple of bombs. One here that they want to raise the let's start there, the gaming tax by a couple of points. Where do you think that's going?
Well, I think the gaming tax might be an easier sell to the public, but we are adamantly opposed to taxing a specific industry. You know, in the lingo of the legislature, it's like, okay, whose ox is next time? If you celebrate somebody being under a microscope or their ox being gored, then just wait your turn in line, because it's going to happen to you. Anytime that you try taxation through initiative petition, it's a joke. It does not do what it's supposed to do. It is never thoroughly vetted. And there's a criticism that legislators don't do enough, but they have funded every year. We've had several billion-dollar increases into education. It's like, give peace a chance. So we're not in favor of going after gaming for anything like that. And there may be room for the increases, but at the same time, you're watching the MGM peel off properties. You're watching them get out of trying to be a property owner and become a management company. You're watching Sears being purchased by our own El Dorado up north here, and Caesars, not Sears, back to retail. But, it's no way to run a circus.
Do you look at this and have concerns with MGM and Caesars, as you say, peeling off properties? They are now going to run the properties, but they're leasing back the land and the properties from these real estate investment trusts. Does that concern you when we come to a recession, that if these companies have any financial problems, they won't have real estate to be able to tap into in terms of loans?
Doesn't concern me, but it ought to concern their investors big time, because that is part of the assets that they have. I mean, our little tiny association, statewide and quite a few members, but I'll still refer to it as tiny, we own our properties. You know, you just don't do that. We rent in Las Vegas, but we own up here. It's an asset that you can draw on. So I don't know what they're thinking. They sold Circus, and that was very profitable, still is profitable, and it's like a family-oriented without having to feel like you need to go to retail and buy a whole bunch of new clothes to stay in the casino itself. So I wouldn't do it, but I'm not their managers and I'm not their stockholders. So I may be, but not that I know of.
Yeah, Phil Ruffin purchasing Circus. I mean, he just has to be totally gleeful that in his mid-80s, he has now purchased the deal of the century.
Oh my
goodness!
Because it's
throwing off so much cash. And he's got 100 acres on the North Strip. 100
Yeah.
acres.
I know it.
That's huge.
And you talk about manna from heaven. I mean, that was a really, really good deal, and I think it was a poorly thought out sale. But again, we're just going to watch it happen. But then I'll go back to my retail experience and using Sears, by air. But everything does change, and MGM never created anything. They bought what Steve Wynn created. So, and then they tried their best to make City Center, and that was, I don't know if it's ever been successful at all to them. The properties are congested together and there's no expansive feeling. I don't think their retail operations came out the way they thought it would and stuff. So everything changes. Nothing is static, and thank goodness for that. Change is good. But I don't see where they're investing in Nevada anymore. They're raising money to invest elsewhere.
Yeah, and most likely Japan.
Yeah.
So the other part of this from the Clark County Education Association was an increase in the property tax, and I'm sorry, in the sales tax in Las Vegas. How do you see that faring? Well, okay, I think that's an answer right there.
Yeah, that is the silliest thing that I have heard. First of all, the legislature punted down a quarter to Clark County Commission to fund programs in education within their or homeless or whatever. They didn't have the courage, I guess, to do something different, but they shoved that down. So Vegas has higher sales tax anyway. But how ridiculous is it? You're assessing your teachers every single month. It's a single stream to fund this initiative. And oh, by the way, teachers, you're going to continue to buy supplies for your schoolroom because this is just about wages and union dues and has nothing to do with it. So you're going to pay more for those too because of sales tax. It's absolutely ridiculous, and I alluded to it before. We have more services now, and the average middle income to lower income family deals more in sales than they do in services. Why are you taxing the very people that need the money? It's not going to fly anywhere, and if we're going to sit back and watch and see what happens. There's no reason to engage in anything like this except for laughter, because I think it was poorly thought out. I don't know who sold him on it. They'll probably get the signatures, but really, you're going to charge them?
So do you see the NRA, the Nevada Resort Association, mounting a huge dollar campaign like NV Energy did to defeat this? Because I would presume that the legislature would not go with it.
I don't think they need to jump in to defeat this yet. Don't forget, they qualify. Then they go through the session, and then it goes to the ballot. So, there is no sense stampeding the herd at this point in time. It's a poker hand.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with more with Mary after this.
Dimitri Prine here for Design Outdoor. Are you a homeowner who's interested in remodeling or building a home? At Design Outdoor, we can show you how adding natural or manufactured masonry stone can add beauty and value to your home. And we refer only the best contractors. Our store and backyard are located at 11600 South Virginia, just north of DeMonte Ranch Parkway. Visit designoutdoor.com or call us at 851-9499.
Hey guys, are you watching the game at a friend's or the bar again because you can't watch at home with your wife? Or worse, because she kicked you out and kept your couch, your flat screen, and your kids? What's the one thing a man needs when he loses a good woman? A good lawyer. And when he loses a bad woman, he needs a great lawyer. What makes a good woman a bad woman? You tell me. You're the one that can't watch the game in your own home. I'm men's rights attorney Marilyn York, and I represent men in divorce, custody, and family law matters.
Hi, I'm Dave Newman. Remember me? I used to be the house detective, and now I'm a realtor, full-time at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates. A lot of people ask me, how's the market? You know what? It's fantastic. If you're even kicking around the idea of buying or selling, give me a call. Let's talk about it. Call me at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates and just ask for the guy who used to be the house detective, Dave Newman.
Everyone is talking about opioids, but they're not the only drugs that can be harmful if taken in large quantities or not as prescribed. You also need to be aware of side effects from anxiety drugs, muscle relaxants, sleep aids, and stimulants. Mixing prescription drugs with other drugs or alcohol can be dangerous. If you take an Ambien with a glass of wine, it may be enough to stop you from breathing. Prescribed drugs can be just as dangerous as illegal drugs. Take medications only as directed.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Mary Lau. She's the president and CEO of the Retail Association of Nevada. So it seems with through GOED, the Economic Development Agency for the state, that we're going to see less in the way of incentives towards new projects. Does that concern you?
I'm not sure it's the right steps to take. I understand feelings on corporate welfare and stuff like this, and I understand the feelings that this particular governor is overly enthusiastic on Northern Nevada development versus Southern Nevada development. But right now, Northern Nevada has more to offer, and it's got the I-80 corridor and everything else with it. I don't know if the road out of Arizona, I-15, I think is going to be, or I probably have that.
No, I-11.
I-11, thank you very much. If that will change the dynamics, but that is a long way away. I am concerned that, yes, small business is the, it's a good economic engine and stuff, but you're seeing so much benefit now coming through. Millions of dollars are being invested towards setting up a program for technology education and stuff up north. And, through, I don't know if it's they're funding a private college up here or what, but there are benefits to it. And when you get a large mass like that, then there's infrastructure and stuff that goes with it more than a stadium. In reality, there's things that have to support what's going on. And you can see small amounts of retail coming into TRI right now. So I am concerned about it, but it's not a policy that is going to be changed unless the governor changes his mind. And we'll see what can be done with it. I mean, I know Michael Brown is totally supportive of this governor, and he'll do whatever he can. And Michael, of course, is the head of GOED now. He'll do what he can to institute his executive orders and his plans. So, it's good to be governor.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Yes.
Property taxes. Do you see the next legislative session being willing to tackle
I
that?
haven't seen anybody light up their eyes, agree, or anything else on trying to fix it. And there's problems that could be fixed that are easier right now, such as depreciation and stuff like that. But again, that was part of, I'm going to use it, I love it, the quid pro quo when we set up the sales tax system, was the ad valorem and the offset there. And then you had Lynn Hattrick and Barbara Buckley working together, and technically we're out of the Constitution on that, with an 8% on the corporate taxes and 3% on the homes and stuff. So I don't think anybody wants to shake that jar.
Okay, but then that means that local governments are going to still be hurting.
Of course they are.
And do you see any remedy for them? And do you think they need a remedy?
Yeah, I mean, local governments, there's nothing wrong with them staying within their parameters too. They keep trying to expand their scope of services and stuff, and it's not necessary. We don't need to keep growing government. We need for government to do what they do and do it efficiently, and then give them the money to do what they're supposed to do efficiently. Part of it is, the infrastructure and stuff like this. I mean, you talk about our schools. We do need class size reduction. We need to get rid of trailers. But you go into our IT departments in the state, heaven help us. There are so many needs that haven't been met, and then local government doesn't need to try to compete with other governments either. They could probably do something very bizarre like cooperate, combine services, look for efficiencies and stuff like this. That local government has no business getting into some of the stuff they're doing, but it's, again, you get elected.
All right, but do you want to give us an example of that?
Well, Las Vegas and the homeless issue. You know, I mean, Reno's got a homeless issue and stuff. And Reno coming out and finding some reason to go against the little scooters, the green scooters.
Right, lime scooters.
Lime scooters and stuff like that. Why? Why is that objected to? And they said, why? Because it hits the potholes in the city? I mean, I don't know. Why do you have to go there? Why do you have to restrict businesses as opposed to assist businesses to get going? And then you get your money and you get your taxes and stuff like that.
So everybody should be like Story County. That actually makes it easy for people to do business. And
Story County was brilliant in what they did. Now they're going to have to look at themselves again pretty soon because they have certain authorities they need to set up. They need some road, and by the way, you just don't get the money and keep it. You probably need to start building your county up and stuff like that. So they're brilliant in what they did, but don't stop on that one thing, you know. You don't rest on that or you'll get hoisted on it.
we have a sale on petards this week.
There we go.
Thank you, ma'am. Always a pleasure, Mary. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
And we'll be right back. A bird's eye captures its surroundings at different heights. At Brian Culpa Photography, we can make your imagination soar over buildings, parks, cityscapes, and beyond. Brian's images tell the story and get the job done. If you need a new perspective to tell your story, contact Brian today. Brian Culpa Photography. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com.
Kenny! Dad? What are you learning? This place is great. Huh? You gotta try this.
Wow! This stuff is great! People are gonna love it!
Yes. Yes, they will.
St. Ives Florist for every holiday and every special occasion. For romance. Custom home design. We have the largest selection of fresh flowers in northern Nevada. And we also offer a large selection of unique gift items. Come see me, Lori Ann, at St. Ives Florist, 700 South Wells Avenue, or call me at 333-9190.
Take a look at Pro Group Management and see how your workers' comp requirements can be met head-on. By taking a proactive approach, Pro Group can assure that your company is meeting or exceeding state and federal standards. As you move forward in your industry, Pro Group moves with you, simplifying regulatory tasks, clearing the way so you can get the job done and look to your future success. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
You can now watch Nevada Newsmakers on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search for Nevada Newsmakers and become a subscriber. We'll see you on the next broadcast. Thanks for watching and listening.